This week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. That's get-blitz.com. Get Blitzed Let's Aid is nano-infused THC syrup, and it is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And you can get 15% off your order when you head to get-blitz.com and use promo code RVD. Get 15% off. Head to get-blitz.com, promo code RVD, 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
Raw Van Dam! The whole effing show! Raw Van Dam! The whole effing show! Van Daminator! Van Terminator! Van Crushinator! Van Assassinator!
What's up, everybody? This is One of a Kind with RVD. I'm Dominic D'Angelo of SE Scoops, ad-free shows, name whatever outlet, but I am here with Mr. Rob Van Dam on a Thursday night. Rob, how are you, man?
I'm good, dude. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Not too bad. It's nice in Pittsburgh. The weather was killer today. It was like mid-70s, so I can't complain, man.
Yeah, it just started getting kind of cold here, and the changing of the weather is fucking with me a little bit. So I'm feeling a little bit stuffy and tired. But been jamming. Very, very productive day. It's been a productive week. It's been busy. You know, I had a very busy weekend.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. Signing autographs all day at the convention in Chillicothe, and then doing a Q&A with the wonderful Bill Apter. And then, yes, sir. Yep. And then the wrestling show at nighttime, wrestling Matt Riddle. I didn't get any sleep, and I had to fly to New York the next morning. And it was awesome that we got to change the clocks, so that I got even less time to myself. And then, but anyway, busted my ass, signed, had a nonstop line from like, I guess it was noon to 5 in Clay, New York. At it was for a grand opening of a dispensary called Raven's Joint right outside of Syracuse. In Syracuse, it's awesome, very cool place. I highly recommend it. Very clean. These guys know what they're doing. Had to go through a lot of BS to get open, and a lot of red tape. And they have a lot of product available, but it's not like you're tripping over it, because they have it in the back, and you look at these monitors and the screens, and you know it's really well designed, breathable, and clean. And congratulations to Clay, New York.
Well, how is so like what kind of complications did they run into, Rob? Is it like just the legal stuff of getting like, you know, marijuana, THC kind of in the mix of all that in that town, or how does that kind of all?
There's always just pushback with it. I think they told me there's only like, I don't know if they said 3 or 4 dispensaries. Like that's it. You know, so they're not like throwing licenses left and right. And that's usually the deal. You know, they're usually stingy about giving licenses. I think that they voted like 2 years ago to approve it, but then it's been that long to get the system down. So sometimes, even if it was 2022 when it was voted legally, you still might not be able to actually practice that new law in effect until you know, some years later, when they have all the system. But I believe in baby steps. It's good to like move in that direction, and you know, just anytime in that industry, you can expect to get a lot of pushback, a lot of red tape. You know, the zoning is always a big issue, because people are really concerned about where you're located. And this actually happens to be across the parking lot from like a toy / comic book store, where I actually did the signing so kids could be there. And it's great that the owners, I can't remember the name of it. I just heard it and I forgot it again. Like something with an L, Lifting the Limits or something like that, the toy store. But anyway, it's really cool that the owners of the businesses, you know, could be on the same team with something like that. And and realize that it's a good thing for the community.
Yeah, no doubt, man. No doubt. How was it working with Matt Riddle for the first time and everything in a wrestling ring? How'd that go?
It was really good. We obviously vibe well together. I say obviously because everyone probably assumes we would, and we do. Cool dude, and the crowd was just crazy, like really hot crowd. It was the biggest crowd that Bobby Fulton says that he's had there in Chillicothe, and that's like a new territory now with big time wrestling. If you haven't heard of Chillicothe, I'm not surprised. I hadn't heard of it until a couple of years ago, but I've wrestled at least 3 times there now and signed at the conventions. And Bobby brings in all the top stars, Sting, Ric Flair. I think Ric Flair was there. And who else was there this time? I can't remember, but a lot of people. You may have seen the posters. They're pretty well stacked, and everybody knows Bobby Fulton. He was one of the Fantastics with Stan Lane, with Tommy Rogers for the long haul way back in the day. I think Stan Lane was the OG, but it was Tommy Rogers and Bobby Fulton. They were the Fantastics, and that was a popular tag team, babyface tag team in like the 80s. So everyone in the business knows and respects Bobby, and he's doing a big thing there, and RVD's apparently a big part of it.
That's great. Yeah, big time too. It's so neat because that obviously had the ties to like Detroit area and stuff like in the Chic and all that stuff. It's pretty cool.
Bobby was a huge fan for the original Chic, and that's why he's got big time wrestling. Yeah,
that's awesome. That's super awesome. How was the Q&A with Bill Lapter then? How'd that go?
It was fine. It was all right. We were standing in the ring, and they were trying to figure out some mistake in the crowd with the seating. And so I'd answer a question, and then Bobby would get on the mic and tell everyone that's in the green section to move over this way and this and that. And it was very informal and very informal. I love Bill Apter though, so it was cool, spending time hanging out with him.
Yeah. Yeah, he's pretty easygoing.
I got asked by a fan at the Q&A. He said, "What's the rarest RVD action figure?" And I thought, wow, that's really interesting you asked me that, because I was just asked that like a couple days ago on X. I'm not used to calling it that yet, but
yes.
And I said I wanted to wait till after this weekend when I could look at my collection and give it a really educated answer instead of just throwing something out there. But I plan on answering that person, and then I kind of was feeling this synchronicity with the energy, and I'm like, "Are you the one that asked me on social media?" And he said, "Yes, I am." I said, "I thought so." And I was trying to explain, but I'm on a microphone standing in the ring, so I don't know how much everyone can hear my long, drawn-out answers, but they seem to enjoy it. But I was explaining to him, I don't know, do you count bootleg figures? I got this one that the WWE is upside down on the chest. What? And it shows an actual RVD figure on the back, but when you look on the front, it's not the same figure at all. And I think I have like one yin yang on the leg, and then I have a chainsaw and a caterpillar with me. And so
what? A caterpillar?
Yeah. I think this was found at the dollar store, and it's some bootleg from who knows what country. I would imagine this is one of the more rare ones, and I was describing that in the ring on Saturday, and a couple other ones. And then I told them, of course, there's the one with the red sun rising Japanese flag. And I was explaining to the whole crowd, I wore this at WrestleMania 23 with the ECW originals versus the New Breed. Red sun rising, white outfit. You guys remember it? They put the figure out, but not too far out. They made it. And before it hit the stores, they recalled it. And so and because of controversy, their flag,
Mhm.
that flag is controversial. Like to Korea, think of it kind of like the rebel flag here, how people associate it with bad times, prejudice, the slavery, the war to keep it, slavery. So similar to that, but I've seen a few figures in the last couple of years while I'm signing at conventions. I've seen at least 9 in the package, and I've seen probably close to that also loose figures out of the package. And every time someone has one, I always ask them where they got it, and they either paid several $100s to get it online, or somebody knows somebody that works for a the toy company. It never made it to the stores, but what I've been told, and I don't know if it's true or not, is that there was like 30 of them that were in the office at Mattel, and once they stopped the production in mid run, they ended up going home with some of the people that worked there in the office. I would love to know if that's true. I find that number to be hard to believe because, as I've said, I've already seen like 9 and 9, and it's what are the chances that I've seen, 2/3 of the complete number that's out there, like in the world. Very, there's no chance that I've seen that. So there must be a lot more. But I've seen it for $500 or $600 online in the package. A fan gave me a loose one a long time ago, and so I have that in my collection. And I was telling everyone on Saturday, so I'm trying to manifest a fan giving me the RVD figure in the package. So Sunday in New York.
What? Whoa, look at that. Wow.
Complete. So don't worry about hunting one of these down for RVD. I'm all set now. I got the RVD in the Sunrising outfit, Series 91 Elite. So boom, something to add to my collection.
That's super cool. Well, that's funny too. You mentioned that because this week I actually did the little journalism thing, and I texted Matt Cardona because he's the big figure collector, and all this,
Right.
And I was like, "Hey, have you heard about this figure? And like, do you happen to have it by chance or anything like that?" And he was like, "I don't have it," but he was kind of saying what you were saying, that people took it from the factory or like whatever and everything to that effect. So like they did get taken out. So they were out in the world, and now you got one. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, because it's in a good home now with all my other action figures. And there's a new one coming out too. You saw that?
Oh yeah, we shared it last week.
Okay.
I think I still got. Yep, right here we go.
Monday night. Oh, boom! That was quick.
Yeah, there we go.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the Walmart exclusive, I think. So you got to keep your eyes peeled for that one.
Wow, and that was show that again. I used to just tape my wrists and not my hands. Okay, and they caught it correctly with the figure. All right.
They got it down, man.
Yeah,
they got it down. Yeah. Real good stuff. Something else I wanted. So I happened to see this picture online too over the weekend. 3 of my ECW favorites, actually. It was you, Sabu, and Little Guido.
Yes.
Awesome. Did that take place in Clay, New York too there, Rob? Was that where that was at?
This was in Chillicothe at the convention, and there was so many wrestlers. I can't even begin to tell you who all I saw, and I can only see halfway across the gymnasium anyway. So at the time, and I had a nonstop line, but in between, I'm trying to look at the tables to see like who else is there that I might want to say hello to. And then I'm like, oh yeah, I can't see that far. It's just a blur anyway. But I do that all day, trying to look, and I'm like, who is that? Like you can almost see a face. Devon Dudley we saw, he was beside us, Ultimo Dragon. Who's over there? Shane Douglas. Yeah, Little Guido, Sabu. It was those things are fun. It's fun seeing everybody, but unless I stay the night and see them at the bar or something, it's usually a really busy, working day, so I don't get too much time to walk around, because if I do, then I'm just keeping people waiting in line.
Right, right. Yeah, that's the thing too, is like that balance. You want to say hi to people, but you got a whole line, and you said it was never ending. It's a little tough to kind of,
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, mingle. So
Scotty
to speak.
Riggs was there, that handsome motherfucker.
Nice,
Yeah.
nice. Looking good. I saw he took a lot of pictures while he was at AEW Revolution. He got a lot of pictures with a lot of the talent there.
He
So.
did, and he also, I saw he got quite a few pictures also at this convention. So if you look him up, you get an idea of who all was there, because I saw he really took the time to go around and smile with everybody and stuff, and he's so happy to be there. It's like he's doing it, like he's got a comeback, like he's amazed, and he's so grateful at life, and it's just, I love his energy. Just a couple of years ago, he's living in his car. It probably wasn't even that long ago. Living in his car, and his source of joy was a bunch of cats. And I remember one of the cats died, and he was like so brokenhearted. He sounded like he didn't even want to live, and he wouldn't accept help because he's too proud. At least not certain kind of help. But luckily, DDP was able to offer him a chance to work for a new life. And wow, he looks great. He's jacked.
He's jacked.
Yeah, and
hair's looking good. He's got new teeth. Looks great.
Yeah. I'm excited for him. Very inspirational story.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Him and Buff at the same time too, basically, are like, the American males, and they're kind of back together. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. I gotta still watch The Dark Side on Bagwell. By the way, I haven't seen it yet.
Oh yeah, that one just aired.
Right.
Did you watch the Earthquake one by the way? Okay.
I did. Yep.
What'd you think of that one?
I liked it. I mean, it's a good show. It's, when I watch it, I always think like, wow, that was a good hour of documentary footage. At first, it didn't sound so dark to me. It sounded like they were like, what dark times did he have? And they were like, he couldn't hold a gimmick. He'd show up to work and they changed his name again. Oh my God. And I'm like, wait, so they keep changing his character, his gimmick, and that's his struggle. Because we've had people on here, that are struggling to stay alive with drug addiction problems and getting murdered and all this. And that's dark, because they did a show like Dark Side of the 80s or something. And that's how it came across, like so not dark. Like they were just trying to rip it off. And that's what me and Katie thought anyway. When we gave it a chance, we were like, yeah. The dark side was like, ooh, we're giving little girls self-esteem issues about being women with Barbie and Cosmopolitan. Ooh, evil. Anyway, I felt like it was going like that, and then obviously got sick at the end. So overall, that seemed like the story. It's a shame, of course, that he got sick and that he died so young. But the rest of it didn't seem that tragic, in my opinion, and that's how I took the story.
Yeah. So like he was a big family man, I know, and I didn't see it yet, but from what I gather, he's a huge family man. Went to Japan, wrestled as a sumo wrestler, and then got all those crazy different gimmicks, and kind of took it good-heartedly and good-naturedly in the most part. But yeah, then he had cancer, and I remember too, he was on the WrestleCrap forums, and he used to be on there all the time. And when I was a fan, just like chatting away, I remember he'd be on there and stuff like that. And he would be talking about getting cancer and having that kind of process. So yeah, that's kind of was his dark side,
Yeah, for anybody, that gets sick or knows somebody going through that, it's extremely dark. And I mean, he also, I mean, there was the traditional, like Mickey Rourke, the wrestler movie factoids, you know what I mean? Like, okay, look at this guy. He wrestled Hulk Hogan, and now he's trying to sell me a car. But that afterlife happens. And that didn't really pull on my heartstrings so much. It's just kind of tisk. That's a shame that a lot of wrestlers do have to become regular people. But if regular people can do it, then it's probably not torturous.
Yeah, sure. No, it's like, yeah, it's just it's an adjustment of life. You hit a big peak of like stardom and making a lot of money, and then you get back to this feeling of normalcy where you're just a dad trying to make ends meet in certain ways. So yeah, it's different.
It sure would suck to
But
go
yeah,
back
no,
to minimum wage or something after having, a lot of years being a superstar.
absolutely. You're just like back to that. That's got to be an adjustment, financially and from a personality standpoint. We do have a few super chats already. So, guys, if you want to chime in with a question, definitely get an ask. Utilize that super chat over here. We'll start off with Jeff Meacham Network. I know Jeff. Thanks for the $5. He says, "Is your AEW Collision booking on 420 in Vegas? I'll be there for TNA, but was hoping to get together." So, it's not in Vegas, I don't think, Rob. Your Collision booking, your AEW booking, I don't think.
You are correct. It is not in Vegas. When they gave me the date, it was in Little Rock, Arkansas, but it has been changed, and it is now Peoria, Illinois, outside of Chicago.
That's correct. Yeah, that's right. Yes, I remember seeing that. So, yeah, Jeff, good to see you there.
But I do look. It'd be awesome when they come to Vegas, and I can do a home show. For those of you who don't know, I live in Vegas, so
yeah. Hey, you know what? You do Double or Nothing there once a year, so
do they?
Be pretty
Cool.
good opportunity to have Rob there. I would say that much.
Hey, save on a flight.
Yeah, there you go. A little less stress. Seth chimes in. Thank you for the $10. He says, "My bad, y'all. I'm trying to sort this out with the song, but they don't make it easy. Put some soft jazz on in the meantime. RVD, there's people ranking your top 5 movies on X. What say you? What is your favorites change, but name some favorite movies of yours or some movies that you like ultimately."
I read that again. I think it said moves.
Was it moves? Oh, you're right.
No.
Oh, thank you, Rob. Top 5 moves on X. I gotta get my.
The show's not the same without starting off with our music. So I'm gonna have to insist, Seth, that you have it fixed by next week. Otherwise, we're giving all your chat donations back. Boom.
Boom. All of them. How about that?
Eat them. Shove them in your mouth, pal. It really makes a difference. That's why I listened on my computer.
He listened on his phone.
Yeah.
For the show. Mm-hmm.
That's
Yep.
Yeah. We gotta have it, dude. We gotta have it. And I was telling Dom, if we gotta buy it, let's buy it, and then we can use it whenever. And if that's an option, I'm interested. So, but did I answer the question? No, I didn't answer the question. So, top 5. Well, let's go with the finishers, which are Van Terminator, 5-star Frog Splash, Van Daminator, Split-Legged Moonsault. Now, do I have a 5th that I actually ever matched with? Right. I did beat Sting with the Rolling Thunder once. So
that's true.
But I mean, yeah, it depends what do you want to go by, you know what I mean? Like but yeah, those are going to be the most effective moves as far as taking something out of my opponents. But obviously I do a hell of a lot more side kicks, spin kicks, monkey flips, Irish whips. Everyone does the Irish whip. Headlock.
Yeah, that's right.
But as far as the most devastating, I'm going to go with those. Although a strong contender to go up against the Rolling Thunder would be, I don't really have a name for it. For a minute, I started calling it the Van Assassinator just because those were the lyrics in my TNA song, and I didn't know what is a Van Assassinator. But when I crotch the dude on the top rope and then in the middle, and then I jump out of the corner and I do the flying sidekick while he's crouched on the top rope, I really like to do that one, and sometimes that one can be pretty brutal.
What about your leg drop from the apron? Their spinning leg drop from the apron to the barricade.
Right. That one is, ooh, yeah, that's pretty cool. If I was trying to impress a bitch that didn't know nothing about RVD wrestling and and they said, is it rough? I would be like, what's this? And I would show them,
Let me show you something.
and I would show them the corkscrew leg drop from the apron to the guardrail before I would show them a Rolling Thunder or anything else. That's one move that I haven't seen anybody steal yet.
That's true. That's true. Mm-hmm.
I think that girl, that girl, that does the split leg and moonsault now, the young girl.
in NXT.
Yeah.
I think I can't remember what her name is, but Kalani Kai, I think, or I'll have to look it up real quick.
It might have been her. I saw some girl that did something like it, but they it was weird because they spun on the apron before they jumped. Like they were there and they turned around and spun and then like dropped a leg, and I can't remember where the opponent was. I don't think they were all the way over on the guardrail, but it was kind of like taking a version of it and making it their own, I guess.
Making it their own, yeah. Kalani Jordan. Hey, it's Lovey. Hello, Lovey.
Love you.
Oh, wait, neutered?
I didn't get the memo to wear a pink shirt.
We didn't either. I just walked into her room and we were wearing the same colors.
Wow, synchronized. Happening.
Yeah.
Hello.
How you guys doing? Hey, how's it going?
Good.
Oh, come here, Bird.
Did you just say Lovey got neutered? Is that what happened?
Oh no, she got bigger.
Oh, she got bigger. Okay. Yeah. It's like, oh, how about that?
The Van Dam fam,
Yay.
Look at, and then there's Barbie too.
full of love. Nothing but love.
What a fam. What a fam.
So much love.
There you go.
Feel jacked.
Hey, Katie, what'd you think about? I didn't get to watch it. What'd you think about Ryan Gosling's performance on the Oscars? Did you watch that?
I didn't. No, the only thing I saw about the Oscars was when John Cena walked out with the thing on him. Like
naked stuff. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I sent that to Rob, but that was all I saw of it.
Oh, okay. Because I knew like everybody was talking about Ryan Gosling singing a song from Barbie, I guess, or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he did like a big thing. It's pretty cool because they parodied Marilyn Monroe back in the day, actually, for it. So that was kind of cool.
Cool.
Yeah. So how about that? So cool.
Fun.
Hey, thanks, Katie.
Thanks. Look at my outfit.
Are y'all leaving?
Yeah.
Looks good.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's awesome. Is
Have fun.
Love you, Robbie.
Love you. Have fun. Cool.
All right.
Dude, I'm really into this fight with Jake Paul and Tyson.
I was gonna bring it up. I have a graphic here too to show it too. Boom! Look at that.
I'm in
July 20th.
20th. Yeah.
July 20th.
It's in Dallas, is it, or Houston?
I believe. Yeah, it's in Texas Stadium. I think.
Where's
Where
that?
the Cowboys play. Where the
Dallas?
Cowboys play. Yeah, in
Dallas?
Dallas. Yeah. So it's going to be a big event. I am pumped too, Rob.
Yeah, it's the whole concept is intriguing and exciting, but the feedback really has pulled me into it because it's almost like politics where the people seem so split and everyone is so positive that they're right. So I've seen like so many comments about like, man, he's going to fight a 60-year-old man. Like, wait, he's saying that he wants to be a serious boxer and he's going after a retired 60-year-old. No one's going to take him serious. And come on, dude. Like, if you beat him, big deal. If you get beat by him, then that's even worse for us. You got nothing to win by fighting a 60-year. So there's that. I don't know if you've seen that. And then there's the other ones. They're like, no, Tyson is going to hurt him no matter what. That's Mike Tyson. And they both sides, like I said, just like politics, it's like they both are so sure that they're right. The other half of the argument is idiotic. That's the way it comes across to me. And I'm, of course, you're going to know where I stand because at 53, I don't care if I'm going to fight somebody. I don't care if they're in their 20s or 30s or 40s or 50s. I don't give a shit. I'm not going to say, wait, he's 25? No. Forget it, man. If he was 32 or over, no, I don't. I even heard one guy that gave
I love you, baby.
one YouTube guy that during his comments that he said when he was breaking it down, he says, and I'm sure Mike's lungs probably aren't in perfect health because, he smokes a lot of marijuana. I wanted to comment and say, what are you saying? I don't understand. Are you where did you get that his lungs are probably not in good condition? What's that got to do with smoking marijuana? But again, I do know that's how basic thinkers think.
Yeah. And, no, Rob, I'm like in the camp of like, man, Tyson, he's like 57. Who cares though? Like he was a professional boxer. He all he needs is a couple punches. That's it. Like if he catches you in the right man, that's all. That's all you got. And it's like, I don't know. It's like, and I'm sure you see him sparring on there, like on social media. There's a couple clips of him doing it. And my God,
he can move. He can move and hit so hard. And it's funny because some of it's everywhere. You know what I mean? Like at least on my feed, there's like so many different videos to choose from to watch, from interviews to AI, breakdowns of it. And one thing that was pretty funny was they were saying that it's not going to be completely like an up and up fight. There's going to be certain different stipulations, and they started saying, okay, they're going to use 18-ounce gloves. I don't know if it's true or not. I don't know. I used to use 16 ounce. When I kickboxed, we used 16 ounces, and that is a much bigger glove than what they normally use, like a 12 or even less. So it's more padding. And they were saying so many things about it that I don't know where to draw the line between what was true and what was a joke. But it was like, but they're saying Jake Paul's going to wear headgear, but Mike Tyson's not. And then they're saying that Jake is going to be able to tag his brother in anytime he wants to. It's like, pretty funny, pretty entertaining, but I wonder if some of that's true. Is that based on something? At least the 18-ounce gloves? I don't know. I started believing the headgear too, and they kept going down that path, and I was like, oh, okay, yeah, they're fucking around.
Yeah, they got to be, because it's like there'd be no way like, hey, Tyson doesn't have headgear, but Jake Paul does. It's just like
that'd be weird, right? Yeah, this was an option. This was an option. Like for instance, when I did the Tough Man contests, it was up to us if we wanted the big diaper pad or not. So like if you didn't want to get kicked in the nuts or you were afraid of it, you could wear the big diaper. But if you were like, no, fuck no, I don't want that, then no problem.
Yeah. So they made that an option. But
they made us wear the headgear. A lot of fighters didn't want it.
Right. Yeah. And I think too, the spectacle that this is going to be, I wouldn't imagine Jake Paul wearing headgear just to cover up something, I don't know. That doesn't make sense, I don't think, to me, but I'm excited for it.
Me too.
There's always the talk about like, how much is it going to be a work? Are they going to like make it go longer than it could? Because I mean, honestly, I made the little guess on when I was helping with the Nash's podcast. I was like, is it going to be over 2 rounds or under 2 rounds? And I think it's going to be under, if it's going to be legit. If they go straight up legit, I don't think Paul stands a chance. I don't.
Man, you know what? Maybe there should be one to. I'm not a gambler, but every once in a while, I think, man, I should have bet on a fight, which I don't even know how to do that. But living in Las Vegas, you can bet on anything.
Oh yeah.
There's been a couple of times where I would have won, but I don't know what the odds were, which affects how big my winnings would have been. But on this one, I'm thinking, I don't know. I mean, I would put my money on Mike. I don't know that much about either of the Paul brothers, and I'm not trying to take anything from them. And, that's pretty brave to even get in the ring, like that. So I'm excited, looking forward to the fight. But maybe I'll look and see about throwing some money down and end my no gambling streak.
Yeah, end it
up.
up.
See if I can lose my house and put me and Katie and D out on the streets. Me and Katie D and Barbie and Lovey.
You'll have to fall into the life of the mob, getting the Las Vegas mob mixed up.
Dude, you know the homeless people here live in tunnels under the city in Vegas.
Really?
Yeah, you can YouTube it. It's like a whole city of tunnels underground. And we had the NASCAR races recently or whatever that was. And even the Super Bowl thing. Wasn't that here? That was here, right?
Super Bowl was here. You guys had the F1, the Formula One racing.
That one, yeah. For those 2 events, I was seeing on the news, they go through the tunnels and they kick all the homeless people out and stuff that are in their homes. Like if it's in the restricted areas or if it's whatever. And that brought up a conversation that I brought up here because I saw that in the news and I was like, what do you think about that? Because we were talking about it. People look at homeless people like they're a nuisance, like they're insects to spray with Raid or whatever. And I didn't like that, seeing them get kicked out of the tunnels. Like, dude, let them stay in the tunnels.
Yeah. What's the issue? I don't see an issue with it. It's strange society we live in.
People, though, I know that they're real people.
Yep, exactly. Seth chimed in again. He said, "Hell yeah, I'll sell it to you for $1. I just got to correspond with whoever runs the channel." So YouTube Chris, that would be. Rolling Thunder is a top 3 move for him, he says, by the way. So Rolling Thunder is up in his rankings.
Nice. What about the Rolling Splash, the Rolling 360 leg drop, which hasn't been done too many times, but I did do that when I was always trying to pull something different out of my pocket. The rolling splash is fun and nobody expects it. And it's weird because I roll and then I go up and then I just feel like I'm diving upwards, until I come back down and then boom. And I'm like, okay, that worked out. I was beginning to wonder if I was going in the right direction. I lose my control of the motion for a little second when I do the rolling splash. It's weird.
Wow, that's funky.
Because I'm not aiming at the guy. I'm not aiming at the guy. I'm aiming up and then boom.
Yeah.
That,
yeah. If I had to rank at least your top 3, my number 1 for you, I think, would be Van Terminator. Number 2 is the 5-star. And then number 3, I think, is the Van Daminator. And then followed up by the corkscrew leg drop on the apron. I think those are at least my top 4. So, yes.
Cool. Not the Fisherman Buster that Sabu.
That's a good one too. Yeah.
He's trying to give me that back in '96, I guess, in ECW, and I was there. He wanted me to start using that as a finish, and I either broke or sprained his neck, knocked him out once or twice with it, and I hurt Hack Myers with it too, and I just gave up on it. I said, no, that's not for me. Yeah.
I'll pass on that one.
Yeah.
Pass on that one. Another super chat we got. Let's see. Oh yeah, Seth also chimed in. He said, "Katie Dogs, best show." he likes Katie and Dog showing up. So thanks, Seth.
Yeah.
And then we have another one. Steve Soleil. I hope I said your name right. He said, "In a real fight, Tyson would knock out Jake in 10 seconds, even if Tyson was 90. Bro, they have amateurs. Myself induced would KO Jake. Oh, myself included would KO Jake." That's interesting. Jake has built quite a resume for himself when it comes to the boxing. Like, I got to give him credit. He's good at it. But, I mean, Tyson's just on another level. I think it's apples and oranges in a lot of ways.
Maybe it'd be better to bet on Jake Paul because the odds would be –
right. Because the odds would be more maybe in his – I'll have to look and see.
Except for you would lose. If he loses, then you lose all your money anyway. So
Yeah, you'll lose either way.
No wonder I fucking don't gamble. I hate this shit. I hate gambling.
I hate it. Yeah. Well, hey, somebody else I wanted to bring up too, getting inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame is another boxer, Muhammad Ali. Rob, what'd you kind of? I mean, Tyson's a huge fan of wrestling, I know, and Muhammad Ali was too. I know he was really influenced by Gorgeous George way back in the day, and getting that promo style was from him. And then obviously so many people in wrestling later became influenced by Muhammad Ali's style, like Dusty and you name it. Like there's been a lot of different people that have captured onto Muhammad Ali. So what did you ever get to meet him first off? And then second off, what are your overall thoughts of Muhammad Ali?
And let's not forget about his match with Inoki.
Tony Inoki. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I did, shamefully, I don't know if I met him because I feel like I did, but just in passing, like, hey, nice to meet you, and uneventful, non-memorable, outside of that. And I think it was like just in an arena, maybe that he was at, or some fundraiser or some kind of event that he was at. I'm not sure, but I feel like I didn't have a conversation or anything like that, but I feel like it was, just respectful, like, hey, great to meet you. Dude, yeah, he's the greatest. It's one thing that whenever I see him fight, he's always got his hands down. And like when I was like training to kickbox, that's like one of the first things you say is like, keep your hands up, keep your hands up. And if I would drop my hands, I get punched in the face to remind me to put my hands up. But it's seeing him is like reassurance that there's not just one right way, that everyone needs to conform to. And so that's why it's weird that coaches will teach their students like that, like it's a flaw, like they're messing up. Because maybe it's something that works for them, and you got to teach the way you're going to teach. So they're not wrong for doing that. But man, Muhammad Ali's hands would always be way down, and he's moving his head around, dancing, is untouchable. And then he puts those hands where he wants them and swings them and shit. And I always thought that about his style. I thought about like, man, all the coaches that must have told him to keep his hands up. Keep your hands up by your face. Don't let your guard down. And here he is, the greatest in the world, is saying, I'm going to do it my way.
Right. That's what was great about him too, is like, yeah, he did go against the convention, and everybody, like, all the media attention he got, but then too, like, taking a stance, like, against the war and all that stuff, and being so political in certain regards. And then on top of it too is, just the influence and impact he had on wrestling and just pop culture in general. Such a cool thing. I think putting him in the Hall of Fame, I know he's going into the celebrity wing of things, but I think you could make a very strong argument just to put him in the Hall of Fame straight up, with you guys.
Like he might be the actual possibly OG of talking smack, right?
Right. Maybe. Yeah. He like laid it out there, man, like rhyming and all that stuff. It was great. Oh man. Yeah. So I wanted to get your perspective.
Did you say there wasn't a celebrity wing last week? You were saying that like Pete Rose is in the same category as me in Hall of Fame.
No. There is a celebrity wing. So it is like there's their own thing, like Pete Rose is in it, Drew Carey's in it, Snoop Dogg's in it.
Someone else I was then, but so there's the celebrity wing, there's the warrior wing or award.
Yeah.
And then is that it? That and the wrestler one? Is there just three or
so there's so the warrior award, the celebrity wing, the legit one, like the one you're in. And then there's I think it's called the legacy wing, where it's a lot of older stars from yesteryear, like way back when, like a Lou Thez or a George Hackenschmidt or somebody to that effect, where it's just like they get inducted into that one. It's like they're not primary on the presentation of the show, basically, when the Hall of Fame gets presented, but they address them and they get inducted. So still
four categories. Four categories,
I would say, in total then. Yeah.
And Paul Heyman's induction is the same category as mine.
Correct. Yes. Okay. So yeah, he'll be in there with you in that same one. So yeah, and I do think, if I have to make a guess, that Muhammad Ali's going to be in the celebrity version of it. So he was at first WrestleMania. Obviously, we said Antonio Inoki too. It just very much a big impact in wrestling. So pretty darn cool either way.
Here's an ignorant question, but he did pass, right? Or is he still alive?
He passed away. I'm trying to think when it was. It might have been like at least, I want to say 2016, maybe. 2016, maybe he passed away. Let me make sure about that though, because I'm curious. He passed away. Yes, June 3rd, 2016. He was 74 years old.
Okay.
So,
and I thought that I remembered Downtown Bruno dying, and then I saw him at a convention. And I was like,
"You're here.
You're not dead." Like, I swear, like I remember like talking about it. I thought I remember The Rock talking about it because he was so influential, helping The Rock out when he was in Tennessee, going through that territory. And it was either all in my head. Well, it definitely was, but I don't know if it was based on something I had confused or if it was a dream or what, but I was happy to see him.
What a relief.
Yeah.
Were you thinking of Mark Curtis, Brian Hildebrand, that old referee? Because
I could see where, that could be mistaken on physical looks, but no, it was Bruno. And I just, I've always known him too, since I started out in the Memphis area and 2000, or I'm sorry, in 1991. That's when I met Downtown Bruno. And then he's just always been around. When I did the squash match with Sid, Bruno was managing Sid at that time. And then later on, when I was in WWE as a big star RVD, Bruno and Steve Lombardi were always running around there together and stuff. Like I thought it really sucked when he passed away. I'm glad that didn't happen. I don't know why I thought that, but in all fairness, we lose people so quickly, and I get to where it's just, oh, so-and-so died. Fuck, that sucks, poor family. So-and-so's probably grieving. And then you accept it. And then, it's like, okay, put him on the list with all my dead friends.
Right. It's gotta be tough. And it's such a thing that happens like so often, I know this week, Jackie Crockett, the cameraman for WCW and the cameraman for Jim Crockett Promotions, passed away. And and there was several other names, like younger wrestlers. The one Japanese wrestler, Yoshi, Yakuza Yoshi or something like that. He from All Japan passed away after a match. And then a young luchador, Ray DeStoller, passed away after
in the ring. This guy in the ring, right? Yeah.
He had a head injury, and then he was taken to the hospital, and it was a severe brain damage, and then he ultimately passed away like about over a week later or so. So yeah, it's a tough business. It's a tough business.
Yo, Rob, we're going to take a quick time out just to say that this week's episode of One of a Kind with RVD is presented by Get Blitzed. Get Blitzed Lit Aid Nano-Infused THC Syrup is a premium cannabis-infused syrup formulated with nanotechnology for fast-acting effects. And that advanced nanotechnology formulation allows for quicker onset and enhanced potency compared to regular THC syrup. It's Delta-9 and legal in all 50 states, every single one. And you have several syrups to choose from Blue Raz to Key Lime Pie to Pina Colada to Tiger's Blood to Cherry to Grape. Just head to get-blitz.com. Use promo code RVD and get 15% off your whole order. Could be a bottle, could be a bundle, your choice. But yes, head to get-blitz.com. Use promo code RVD, and it is by Mickey Ray Sinatra and Courtney. Take a look. Head to get-blitz.com. Promo code RVD. Get 15% off. It's one of a kind, baby.
So Steve Soleil also chimed in again for
Hey,
$1. Thank you.
Soleil.
You think him dying was the Mandela? You think him dying was the Mandela effect? I don't know what the Mandela effect is. I gotta look it up real quick, Steve. And I don't know who you're talking about. So if you want to clarify. You don't gotta pay again. But let's see what Mandela effect means. Definition. I don't know if he's making a joke or not. Type of false memory that occurs when many different people incorrectly remember the same thing. What?
Oh, so he's talking about Bruno when I said that I thought Bruno died.
Yeah.
Wow. I didn't know what that was either. But yeah, that's like when the rumor Ultimate Warrior died, and there was a different one and stuff like that. Like so many people believed it. Maybe that's what that is. But I don't know.
Apparently,
I thought it was just last year. Like I remember details about it. I remember The Rock giving some kind of speech. And I guess maybe that's related to, didn't The Rock buy him a car? And what was that about? Like for some kind of, I don't know what the celebration was, but he bought him a car.
Yeah, I know there's something with the car. There's something. Or didn't Downtown Bruno buy Rock his first car? I can't remember.
That's not what I'm talking about. It was something, it was a payback.
Okay.
Maybe it was part of the damn sitcom. I really don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
No.
All right, so we got that settled then. So now I know what the Mandela effect is. Thank you, Steve. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
What else did I want to cover? Oh, interesting quotes from Bruce Pritchard here. He gave some thoughts on Paul Heyman and about ECW. And Rob, I want to get your perspective on it. So this was on his podcast, Something to Wrestle with Conrad Thompson. He said, Paul wanted to be different. Paul didn't want to do the same old, so Paul went extreme, as far as extreme different he could get. hence Extreme Championship Wrestling. It was blood and guts, and it wasn't for everybody, but there was an audience out there, a small audience. And unfortunately for them, the audience for them was too small to sustain it. And this is taken from, I believe, Wrestling Inc. And they also added that ECW experienced minor success through word of mouth and hush-hush working relationship with WWE, but perhaps due to violent nature, ECW struggled to find a wider audience. Then Bruce continues. He says, I don't know if it was sustainable because Paul just wanted blood and guts and to be different. And sometimes being different is not giving anybody anything of what they are used to, or what they are used to is like you either have to love it or you hate it. And I think that put him in an awkward position. So those are Bruce Pritchard's thoughts about ECW and Paul's philosophy, I guess, on it. What do you kind of think of that take there, Rob, when it comes to that?
Well, I think that some things or people, let's say some art that comes across in different forms is so cool, but what makes it cool is that it's it's counter society.
Counterculture.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
And I think ECW was like that, when Paul was talking about trying to get on USA or whatever major network TV channel, and he was telling us, I got a meeting on Wednesday. I'm going to find out. Looks like it's going to be this or this. Maybe we'll be on Fox. I looked at it like, okay, if we get a chance for everyone to just look at us one time, to see us, and to be able to compare products, I thought so many people are going to stick to it because it's so cool and it's so superior to the alternative that's all we need is just a chance to be up in that window next to the other dogs, and someone's going to pick us up from the puppy store, But looking back at it, what made it cool was that it's not made for the majority of people, like the things that are really mainstream that are made for everybody are they're not obviously they're not going to be as niche, but they're made for everyone, made for kids, made for old people that get offended, made for people that are stupid, they can't keep up with everything else. And so the majority of people that are going to tune into something mainstream, it's going to be a little bit cheesy, for lack of a better word. And that's what is going to get the mass amount of views. So for someone like an RVD to get in the spotlight, and for me to say, boom, I want all the fans, to see me, I'll be everyone's favorite wrestler. Well, if I'm smoking weed, and I swear, well, that's going to turn a lot of people off that are mainstream because they're not about that. For other people, they'll think that that's so cool that I'll be so much more over with my niche crowd that it'll seem to make up for being in the mainstream. But when it's talking about all the numbers, and that is what you need for sustainability is the numbers, the ratings, the money, it's all the same. I think that our very own product was too counterculture to have competed with the mainstream product.
Do you think Paul would have kind of, say if ECW caught more fire, you got television, a big television deal hypothetically and stuff like that, Paul probably would have made the adjustments to make it still have that vibe, but also like still make it a little bit more mainstream where you could have that broader audience? How do you think Paul would have handled that if it did get bigger, ECW?
Well, I think he would have hated to compromise the spirit and nature of our foundation, that's at the root of our art form. And it reminds me of like when WWE brought ECW back, and after a few weeks, then they decided, okay, because they were saying, JR was saying every night, ECW means anything goes. And that was almost like the logo, that's ECW where everything goes. And then all of a sudden they're going to have one Extreme Rules match per night. And the rest of the card is going to be just like SmackDown, just like Raw. That was the kind of compromises that were made to add credibility to the referees and to the matches. And that was Vince's idea of attracting the mainstream audience. So these are the kinds of choices that you would be dealing with. And in my opinion, it took way too much away from the product. Could Paul have done a better job if he was in charge of where to trim? Yeah, but he would have got so much pushback and opposition if there was higher than him. If he was in charge of it, he was already dealing with the network people at TNN. And then he was saying, that with the pay-per-view game, that was a whole another level of rules put on as far as like time estimates and things like that, which were never even part of our game. I never cared how long my match was, until we started getting on pay-per-view. And then it was like really important. And that changed the whole agenda from my perspective as, someone out there doing the work. So yeah, I think if Paul would have got on TV and we could have been like maybe on late night, which already isn't going to be the best audience. You've lost some people by being on late, but unless we were going to target us for kids, that young adult target audience that knows what's cool, that likes to go out and party more than probably just stay home with their family or whatever. That's unfortunately, even though I may fit in there best and ECW might fit in with them best, and that might be you and me, and that might be our world, as we know it, that we live in, it's not the mainstream.
Right.
It's not the people that are watching the Tonight Show, with the cheesy Jay Leno jokes. And even that's 11:30 at night. So that's really pushing it to get saucy and, and talk about Dolly Parton's boobs. Woohoo.
Oh, wait, no. Yeah. But I will say, too, I think, it wasn't just blood and guts, too, with ECW. Obviously, that was part of the thing. But that's kind of where the culture of the 90s was going, was in that you had the Jerry Springer, you had a lot of that different stuff, or Howard Stern, a lot of those elements coming into play where things were getting a lot more edgier and things like that. But on top of that, too, you guys also had, like, you introduced, like, the luchadors, and then WCW started adopting that into the cruiserweights and bringing them over. And then, but a lot of, like, the way promos were executed, the way certain things were executed, all that event, and Stone Cold even started cutting his Stone Cold teeth in ECW before he went to WWE. So there's a lot of stuff that got adopted over into the other mainstream products, and those got edgy too because of ECW. ECW was very much ahead of the game when it came to a lot of that stuff, and that was part of the counterculture ideal, I think, too. So
yeah,
pretty interesting thing to think about, I think.
Yeah, I mean, not to mention that all the wrestlers that are out there now were influenced by watching us wrestle. Like if ECW was cool to anybody, it was to wannabe wrestlers that are, kids practicing moves, wanting to be wrestlers. They watch us, and then they're putting each other through tables and everything and diving off stuff. But yeah, we definitely have, we have served as an inspiration and influenced a lot of the whole pro wrestling society for sure. But yeah, you got to learn to be mainstream if you want to get the biggest numbers. And that's something that I understand more since then. At the time, I was like, I think as many people would watch ECW as would watch Raw if they were given a choice. No, I don't think so. It's, normal. I think, the status quo, mediocre people are that way for a reason. You know?
Yeah. And it's like it's hard to compete against something that's established as WWE was too, even at that juncture. Because I mean, you look at the history of it back then. They had Hulk Hogan before that. They had Bruno before that. So they were in the big New York market. They were the primary thing there. So it's just like they already had an identity established. You guys were growing and trying to make a name for yourself and trying to be different at the same time. So it's just like different circumstances for both, for sure. So that's kind of interesting. Yeah, I thought that was a good conversation. I like that one. Let's see. What else do I want to cover too?
It's like
yes.
if you're in adult entertainment, you want to be an actor, you want to be an actress, okay. But if you do it like in the adult world, you might still be call yourself that, but you're not going to get the same majority, the same mainstream crowd. You're going to get a Canadian crowd that watches those kind of movies. Something to compare it
Right.
to.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah, I like it. This is kind of what I wanted to do too. Obviously, Mercedes Moné made her AEW. Oh, there's that figure again. I know. I'm gonna have to get a screenshot of that, Rob, so we can promote that a little bit. That's pretty sweet.
I just did the interview. Before this, I did the podcast of the dude that gave me that, and I don't know. I want to plug his show. I'm not sure what his show is called right now, but yeah.
Okay, well, we'll try to get him to give us a holler and figure it out, because that would be cool. I'll happily promote that on here too, for sure.
Cool.
What was I gonna say? Oh, before I forget too, how was Sabu? You did a Twitch with Sabu. How'd that go?
Oh yeah, it was awesome. It was very cool. It's something. I mean, obviously, I love Sabu and we have great chemistry, but I realize now not everyone is going to have that chemistry with Sabu or even feel that comfortable being around him. And so I like sharing our relationship and the way, just like in the ECW promos back in the day, the way that our different personalities really will come out, in a conversation. So pretty cool. I definitely hope to do more with them. And we're not going to disagree on very much either, which is cool because I might have a different way of explaining his thoughts, or you can also see where my ways that I think about in the business in particular, you can see how that came from his tutelage. Because I'll say,
for sure.
I feel fine saying, well, the way I got trained, by Sheik and Sabu, like we don't believe boom, boom, boom. We don't think you should ever do this. There's no time for that. You got to do this, and I feel like comfortable representing both of us, even though, it was 1989, 90 last time he was training me in the ring. It's been that long, but I feel still comfortable in feeling like one, qualified. You know what I mean? I can tell you the way that I think it should be. You can disagree with me, but I got a lot of experience, and also just knowing that me and Sabu are going to back each other up because we're like-minded in a lot of ways, and definitely in the ways of the way we approach wrestling and the business, because we're from the same damn school.
That's it, man. That's it. No, it was cool because it was neat when we had him on here, because like a lot of the stuff that you guys were saying, we're definitely vibing with one another. And like, I was also learning, like getting Sabu's perspective, but it was along the same lines that you ultimately both had, so that's pretty cool to kind of get that and see that.
Yeah. When he talks, it's like a Neanderthal version of me trying to talk. Just kidding, Sabu.
JK. Oh, man. He was great though. I remember texting you. I was like, I loved having Sabu on. He said it's learning about him and the Sheik and all that stuff has been just a cool experience for this. So, okay. Yes, Steve also chimes in. We've talked about this before. Steve Soleil, thanks again for the $4.99. You remember talking with Ultimate Warrior on RVD TV about having the power to heal injuries in your mind. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I was bullshit. So, yes, this was a conversation, and Chris Nowinski was in on it too, who studies brains and has made leaps and bounds of progress on our education of concussion damage, CTE, things of that nature. And he's great. Chris Nowinski goes around and gets colleges to change their ways and adapt new rules or equipment or whatever for bigger safety protocol. But Ultimate Warrior and I and Chris Nowinski were talking about the power of the mind, and it really is like the center of everything. It's where thoughts are born, and thoughts become actions. So as far as the limit of what all the mind can accomplish, I think that it's a lot more than we regularly expect, give it credit for, or use it for. But I do draw the lines at some places. So I think that by my thoughts, I think if I make myself, if I'm thinking like hypochondriacs, if I'm thinking that I'm sick, that I'm coming down with something. Oh my God, you know what? I think I'm cold. Yeah, my temperature feels cold. I think my throat is starting to get raspy. If I think those thoughts, and a lot of people will have problems because they will do that, I think I can manifest that. It can become real. I think I can actually feel those sensations that started in my head, and I can thereby compromise my health to the point where I'm not feeling good. I do believe that. I think that the power of the mind is strong enough to where we can meditate and focus on all of our senses, everything that's stimulating us, and whether it's sound, smell, taste, temperature, whether you're feeling your ass the way it's sitting on the ground, or whether you feel your socks and where they end on your legs. I think that a lot of us can exercise down that pathology and learn to become so strong in that kind of awareness that I think people can probably maybe control their heartbeat, even though it's an involuntary muscle. I think people can, maybe they can lower their body temperature by calming down and slowing their breathing down. I think that maybe they can feel, maybe people can feel, certain kind of people, ninja masters, monks, could feel, I'm not going to say they could feel the hair growing out of their scalp, but I'm saying maybe they can feel the hairline and the difference in how the wind stimulates the part of their head that has the wind and the part that doesn't have the wind. And they can feel that with their eyes closed. They could draw a picture of everything. Because I can do some of that. I can feel where my sleeves end if I'm meditating. And so I think there's people that can go way further than I can, that can feel inside their body things that are happening. Do I think people can fly, levitate from their power of their mind? No, I don't. And I had a karate instructor, I think I told this story before, at the Battle Creek Booty Con, that said that he could, from focusing, he could have mental roots that go through his feet into the ground and make it so I couldn't lift him up. I said, nah, I'd have to show me, And so he's like, okay, try and lift me. And so I grabbed him and I lifted him right up. And he said, oh, okay, well, that's because you're strong, because you lift weights and stuff. He goes, hold on, let me try again. And he goes, okay. And I grabbed him. What do you think happened the second time?
I think you lifted him up.
I lifted him up again. I think there's a lot of hokey pokey in this way of thinking, but I also think that people that use a lot more of their mind can control a lot more of their physical functions and just be aware of a lot more than we expect. I totally believe that. I don't know where to draw the lines exactly, but you can't think good thoughts and feel bad at the same time, and you can't think bad thoughts and feel good at the same time. Like they're directly linked. My thoughts control my vibration, and that controls how I feel and how I rub off on other people. So we were talking about the power of the mind, and there's some people that take it really far. There are people that can block pain out. We've all seen this. They can just focus and meditate and be in such a, I don't know if they're in an out of body state of mind or what, but there's people, and then you can hold a lighter to them just like in Lethal Weapon, or stab their hand or something, and they don't react. I do believe all of that. I think that the power of the mind controls all of that. They used to say we only use 10% of our brain. I don't know about that. I don't know.
Yeah, I think too. It's just like, how in tune are you with your whole mindset, to see what you're capable of, and like what you're aware, like from meditation or prayer, or even like the aspect of positivity that you're talking about too, is just like being positive really exudes a lot of good energy. And like, if you're positive all the time, it, like, I hate to use the cliche fake it till you make it, but a lot of the times that can resound true in certain ways when you have a good mindset, when you don't have negative stuff around you, or think negative thoughts and stuff like that. And
Absolutely.
I think a lot of that aspect is very much powerful. And if you're going through maybe health troubles or something like that, obviously you're going through a physical pain or some sort of issue, things like that. If you're able to keep a mindset maybe that's positive, I'm sure that can help you along in certain ways, and maybe put you in a different mindset of making your whole body better in a certain way. But yeah, to the extent where it goes a little far is like, hey, I can root myself into the ground, or I can fucking fly. It's like, no.
Right. Yeah. But is it possible that people could really think positively and maybe make a cut on their hand heal faster than someone that doesn't put the same thought and focus and concentration and love and focus on the spot? Maybe you got me on the maybe there.
Yeah, that's a kind of like a maybe one. Like, if you're the amount of energy you give yourself, I think is something to kind of consider. Maybe, hey, yeah, if you think it's gonna heal and you do maybe the right process of taking care of yourself. But yeah,
But I mean,
think it's a balance.
but think about it. They say like if you just talk to plants or even just focus and love and give love to plants, they supposedly thrive on it and grow healthier and faster. I do believe that we are supposed to be able to communicate telepathically, and there's several factors that I find that back that up. And they usually say like when they get into the aliens spottings and stuff like that's how they were. They were like the alien wasn't even talking to me, and he was just like, I just knew what he was saying, what he wanted me to do or whatever, and it was weird. I feel like certain people maybe can do that, and I feel like all of us are supposed to be able. We just don't know how to use our brain. A lot of times, I think the dogs are like, I'll be thinking like, I wonder where Barbie is. She comes running in through the dog door from outside all the time. I mean, she does that so often. And if you think about it, your dogs, I don't know if cats do this too, but they'll spend so much time and they're trying to get their thoughts out to you because they don't talk, but they'll sit there and they'll just stare at you and stare at you.
Cats do that.
And, they might be thinking, get me a treat. I want a treat.
Something. Yeah.
I want a treat. And they're trying, they want something, and they're like, why aren't you responding? And I think that we really are equipped to be able to communicate on that level, and I think animals do amongst themselves.
Yeah, I agree. I definitely agree with that. What else was I going to say? Oh, you mentioned it earlier too, manifestation, like that kind of aspect of it too. Like you're talking
Well,
about
yeah,
the
that's for
figure.
sure. Totally.
Yeah. You know, that's another thing to consider too. It's pretty cool stuff. I don't know. DDP's all about that too, manifestation and everything. All right, we got another couple super chats here. Tony Lopez asks a good one here. Thanks for the $2. Will you do any meet and greets in California soon? Are you going to be in Cali anytime soon? There, Rob?
I don't think I have anything right now scheduled in California at all. So, hopefully that'll change sometime, but not right now.
Not right now. So
Yeah.
wait and see there, Tony. Wait and see. Steve Soleil chimes in again. Thanks again for the $5. He says, "Yeah, bro, I've been trying to heal my knee mentally, warrior style, but that MFR still hurts. LOL. 21 years of jogging. Oh, running will do it to you. Yeah, that puts a wear and tear on your knees for sure."
Yeah, I've heard wrestling can be rough on the body too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's one thing that's so annoying about pain is that it's so distracting, and I always wonder, like, why can't I just learn to like pain, or at least be okay with it and just be like, but it's weird because pain, like, it sends these signals and it fucks with you, and even pain can keep you from being able to move, and you think your actual mobility is limited by range of movement, by inflammation or whatever. But sometimes it's just the pain itself that stops you from being able to do anything, and you don't even know until you get like a cortisone shot or something that makes it go away, and then you're like, wow, I can move completely. I didn't know I could do this. And I always wonder, like, why is pain so debilitating? It takes you off the track that you're on, off of your focus. Like if I'm having a day where, I don't know, say my shoulder really hurts, why is it that it bothers me so much? It makes me angry that when I reach out, oh God, I can't let, why can't I just be like, yay, yay, my shoulder hurt today. Oh, cool. It's a bad back day. Awesome. I thought about getting hypnotized before, because that would really change things around and allow everyone to be a little more productive on days where you feel held back just by being grumpy that you're feeling pain.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of stuff. And I'm sure too, like, just going through your wrestling career and like you're dealing with injuries, or like, you have a nagging thing that's going on, and you almost kind of develop that adaptation to it where you're like, I just got to work through it and go through it. I got some matches I got to do this week and cover them. I'm sure you got used to that to an extent, as much as you can.
Some stuff doesn't go away, so some stuff I'm just going to go ahead and wrestle with. It's been there since '93.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go. Let's see. Another super chat is from Lizzo's Titty Fat. What a name, Lizzo's Titty Fat. I like it. Canadian dollars and $2.79. They say, I don't know if she or he, become a sadist. RVD, love the pain. JK, you're a legend. So there you go.
Wouldn't that be a cool gimmick for a wrestler, a character? Be like, chop them in the chest, and they love it.
Just give it to me. Call him the sadist. That's all you need. Some people are sadists.
Vince, there was one time in WWE where, they were trying to get Sabu to talk, and he didn't want to talk. He didn't think it was good for his character or his future. And plus he wasn't comfortable talking anyway, but they were insistent. They wanted him. They said, that's where the money's at. We want you to talk. And man, he was real upset about it. One day, Vince told him, it's just going to be me and you in a room. No, you don't have to worry about any camera guys to be nervous in front of or anything. I'm going to work with you. I'm going to get this out of you, man. I'm going to get you just to do this promo. Well, Sabu wanted me there. So, of course, I'm going to go there, too, and try and help him out. And Vince was like, Rob, what are you doing here? We're supposed to just be me and Sabu. And I was like, well, Sabu wanted me here. He's uncomfortable, and I'm trying to help. And, we're inseparable, motherfucker. Don't worry about it. What it was like, script wise, was like, at first I think they wanted him to say, I'm homicidal, and I think he ended up saying just the one word, homicidal, suicidal, instead of saying I'm suicidal, I'm homicidal, which, because he said, I want to talk about myself. And he says a homicidal person doesn't say I'm homicidal, he's just homicidal, which I totally agree with. But there was this point where, Vince had talked him into at least, boom, let's try it, let's see what we can get, even though he didn't want to. And Vince was saying about how much money he made off of the Sheik. And he was saying, that he knows what he's doing. And he was saying, he could make a lot of money with Sabu. He really liked Sabu. That's the impression I got. It's from this meeting. If Sabu would have went with the game, I really think he would have been like in a top position. And he was talking about Sabu's scars and everything. And this is what Vince said.
Uh-huh.
I didn't know the word until this conversation, really. But he goes, "Well, I think you're a bit of a sadomasochist." And I went, he thinks you're a sadomasochist. And he said, and so are you, Rob. And I was like, oh, what is that?
What is that exactly?
Yeah. And we don't enjoy the pain. It's just that it's worth the pain to show our durability, and we don't mind putting our body through a wreck, because our body is our vehicle. That's all we got. So we're doing it, and thank God we have an outlet for it with pro wrestling and our fans that appreciate what we do.
Yeah. Oh man. Like, it's neat because Sabu is in a way like he didn't need to talk necessarily. Like, it was
Right.
just got that identity where it's just like, what is he's got that air of mystery about him.
It takes away. It really, yeah. If he never talked, he would still be so mysterious. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the thing. It's just like you didn't know what was he about. Why was he doing all the stuff that he was doing? And having somebody like Fonzie that's over the top was a great compliment to him. And and you, along with him, like kind of being laid back and like kind of teasing him sometimes, like when it's like in those backstage promos and stuff in ECW. It was just a great dynamic, and that really got Sabu across, I think, in a lot of ways too.
Yeah, I missed that. That would have been good to just stay on that path. And every time he would come out, the fans would be like, "Oh man, this guy, check him out." And they'd be intrigued by him, by the way he looks, his moves, and the fact that he doesn't talk to you.
Yeah, that's it. What's he about, man? What's he about? Cool. Well, we'll wrap it up, I think, with this here. So Mercedes Moné made her AEW debut at Big Business, as expected. It was in Boston. And but she, and I read a quote about her from last week where she talked about leaving WWE, and then you made me aware that she was influenced by you and made mention of that before. So here, you've talked about social media before, and she gives a social media perspective on here, and I kind of wanted to get your take on this. So she said, this is from the Kick Rock Wrestling podcast. So she said, social media is so mean. People don't understand that as celebrities, we legit get bullied and harassed online every single day. And people are like, well, it's part of the business. You guys could take it. She says, it's taken years to toughen my skin because I would read things and I'm like, somebody called me this, or they think I'm this, and breaking down for people's comments. People do that. People get so hurt by people's comments that they take their lives. And she was referencing to the one young Japanese girl. I wish I remembered her name. They actually put it down in the article. I didn't put it down, but yeah, that happened a couple years ago where she took her life because of that stuff. But yeah, Rob, being in this social media landscape, when you're a wrestler, you hear everything, like the good and the bad, and sometimes the bad stands out more than the good in a lot of ways. So yeah, just what's your overall take? I know we talked about this before, but I just thought this was interesting. She brought this up too.
Yeah, so it is interesting. Here is how I see it, and hopefully this doesn't come across as callous or cold, but if you want to be a public figure and you want to be famous, that goes with the job. You can't want to be a superstar and be thin-skinned at the same time. You just can't. It doesn't. It's not a healthy combination. Now, if you're a private person and you just have a job you go home to and come back, you don't deserve any of that, trolling and bullying. And, maybe that's completely unfair that anybody, is anything less than nice to you. But if you're an image, which is what I always get back to, for so many people, and we're talking, millions of people, hundreds of millions of people, and you're an image, they don't know the real you. They know just what they know about you. That's all. You watch someone wrestle, how much you really know about that person. So that's who they're judging, is the image, and you got to be ready for anything. You can feel insulted, but that's on you. You gotta say, like, man, that's insulting. But oh well, this person insulted me. Boom. You got to be okay with it, and you got to, again, like I talk about on here a lot of times, get your self-value and self-worth from yourself. You got to be able to feel proud of yourself, like a winner, like you are doing it the right way, your way. And you can't live life just trying to meet other people's standards, because they have different values than you. You don't care about the same things that everyone else cares about. And so they're going to judge you by their values, but they have their life, and you have your life and your values. And even if you are known as an image, that's not the real you. That's just part of you. It's a reflection of you. So let them have the image. They're not coming after you. They're coming after the image. It goes with the job. That's part of wanting to be famous, wanting to be a public figure, wanting to be exposed to the entire world. You got to be ready for a mixture and combination of contradicting comments, because it's a really big world. You can't not be okay with that.
Yeah, I think that's a really good way to put it too. And social media is such a landscape where, hey, you are a celebrity. You got to be accountable for what you say. A lot of the people on social media don't have to be accountable for what they say, because they can just put a blank picture, a picture of a wrestler of themselves, like as themselves on there. They have no identity on there.
Right.
You're accountable. And you've mentioned this before on previous episodes and stuff like that. And I think in addition to that too, your generation grew up in a time where social media wasn't there. The cell phones weren't there. Everything wasn't there. Like, I'm a millennial, and I think as stuff like that, and if you get younger, even than like Gen Z, I think is the one below me. But like, for some reason, our cultures are a little more sensitive when it comes to stuff like that. So if you're a younger person, even than me, you're going to take things a little bit more to heart than what RVD or what I'm just thinking Terry Funk might think, or something like that, when it comes to something,
Well,
And-
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
people are more sensitive in today's society, for sure. And it's becoming more wrong to insult people. I mean, think about it. What is a hate crime? I mean, you can add a charge onto another crime because they hated them while they were doing it. What kind of world is that? So you murder somebody. Okay, you got the murder. You murdered someone. Homicide, person's dead. Boom. But now, if you murdered them because that person was black, and you and you hate blacks, and that's the reason you kill them. Now it's more than murder. Now it's a hate crime. It's actually a worse crime to include hate while you're killing somebody and ending their lives. That's kind of crazy, because how can you enforce laws and regulate people's emotions and feelings, and really you got to decide their intention a lot of times, which is crazy anyway, because that is what tells you if it's manslaughter, involuntary, or homicide. And so, your actual intentions, which is your feelings, what you're trying to do, is half the factor on top of your actual actions. It's crazy if you think about it. And I forgot what the original question was now. Boom.
Oh, I was just mentioning too how like the younger generations, as generations get younger, they're like more sensitive in that aspect.
Yeah, no, it's true. We are getting taught to. I don't know if we're getting taught though to be more aware of other people's feelings. I try to teach it, to be empathetic, to realize it's not just your perspective. Everyone has their own perspective and values. But I don't know if that comes across while they're pussifying our nation. I'm not sure if at the same time that they're getting across, quit being psychopaths and only caring about yourself. They're just getting across, don't touch a girl's vagina without consent. I don't know. It's like they're changing in a way that is going to hold a lot more people accountable than ever before for their actions. At the same time, I'm not sure if people are going to learn to care more for each other and to have more of a team. We're all in this life together, let's push each other forward kind of thing, because I kind of feel like it's lacking more than I've ever seen before in my life.
I agree with that. Like, I think things are a lot more divisive when it comes to certain things. And like, if somebody says something and they're like, okay, you're over here and I don't want to associate with you anymore. Where there was more of like, okay, let's kind of factor in a lot of things. I'm not going to take that to heart, or certain things like that. There comes into play. That's a certain, definitely like a balance I've kind of noticed where there's like, people will speak their minds on social media and things will be said and people get absorbed with that. You see everybody looking at their phones and stuff. So it's just like that becomes a big part of your life. And if it is, and you grew up in a certain generation or grew up in a certain household, it might affect you a little bit more than say somebody else that grew up in a different generation and grew up in a different household. It's just different,
Yeah, it seems more like the way to be is going to be to not offend other people, but to accomplish that by just staying to yourself in your own little bubble.
Yeah, which does not sound fun. Yeah.
Hey, I see. It's Seth again. I'm looking in the chat room. Yeah.
Oh, yes. Thanks for reminding me. Yes, he said, I saw Lex Luger started DDP yoga today. Super inspirational. That's awesome. I didn't see that. I'll have to go seek that out, Seth, because that's super cool.
Same, because that sounds awesome. And man, I bet he's so happy to be able to exercise, because, look at the guy at his peak when he was jacked, like the bodybuilding physique, and obviously that's who he identified himself as. And then to be confined to a wheelchair and stuff, I wonder how much he can do and what he can do now. I don't know, but I'm going to seek that out and try to see what DDP's doing with him, because that sounds fantastic.
Yeah, that sounds really cool. I think Lex is able to stand up. He just can't trust his body, I think, enough to like move around to the extent that he wants to, obviously. So I think a lot of the time, and I think he's still capable of driving and everything like that, if I know correctly, and all that kind of thing. So, but that's awesome. I got to look that up too. I'm excited to check that out, because Lex is such a good, positive dude now and everything like that. So he's another guy that should be Hall of Famed. So, okay, let's see. Lizzo's titty fat yet again. Pick one: Rock Austin, Foley Funk, Pizza Pasta, WCW, WAF. Rob, which one you picking out of those matchups?
Interesting thing to want to know.
Yes, want to gather?
I want to make sure I make the right call here. So,
Yeah, this is a tough one. Oh, you got to pick one of each. I think that's it.
Pick one of each. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rock and Austin, Foley or Funk. Yeah.
Okay, let's see. Rock or Austin. I'm gonna go with Rock. Quit booing me. It's my choice. Foley or Funk. I'm trying to think of what to even go by on all these. So I'm gonna say Funk and pizza or pasta. I'm gonna go with pizza, and I'm gonna go with WWF.
There you go. Those are some sound choices, Rob.
What is that? Fuck, marry, or kill?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we might have talked about the coloring contest, right?
Yeah, you brought it up.
Okay.
We haven't
Right.
made a big announcement about it yet or promoted it yet.
So by the time this show it's tomorrow, huh?
No, it'll air Monday.
Okay. But isn't the audio on Friday night or no? No.
The premiere. Well, sometimes we'll air early on premiere, but it'll air a little bit earlier than Monday.
Oh, okay.
So will officially drop on Monday everywhere.
Okay. So my airbrush artist that has airbrushed all of my outfits since day one, he had this idea and he sketched out an outfit with the designs on it. And I sent it to my webmaster at robvandam.com. So when we get the link, we can put it down here. Otherwise, go to robvandam.com and you can see the outfit there, the front and the back and the sides. And I don't know if you download it or if you got to copy it, screenshot it. Hopefully you don't have to screenshot it. But anyway, you get the sketches from there. You color it the way you want to color it. Send it back to robvandam.com and we'll have the email for you to send it back. And this is the coloring contest. So it's your chance to color a Joe Holland designed outfit. And after everyone sends everything back, and we're going to have this going for a while. So I know I'm not giving you all the information right now, but don't worry if you're saying, damn it, I got to have it. This contest will last until 4/20, and then the contest will end. And then we are going to pick the winner. And then the winner will not only be announced as the lead colorist, but Joe Holland is going to make that outfit come to life. And he's going to paint that actually designed outfit that we're then going to put on RVD's body, and I'm going to wear it on TV. Bam! And then, and maybe we'll send you some little package, little care package too.
Ooh, that sounds nice, Rob. That's going to be fun. Yeah. Well, I'll make sure to get the links. If there's like a PDF or an image, I'll share that out. So make it available for people. And then you guys, submit it in. We'll get a voting system set up here and get things cooking. Rob will pick out some. we'll do a top 4, and then we'll do another round of voting or something like that. We'll figure something out, I think, for it.
I was thinking I could wear it on the 420 show, but that would require, that wouldn't time right.
That'd be an earlier deadline than we'd have to
It
do.
would be an earlier deadline, and I don't think we should do that.
Okay, so we're going to celebrate 420 all in one foul swoop with Rob being on AEW, you coloring, and getting your submissions in. So I like it.
In Peoria, Illinois.
Booyah, booyah. I'm excited. I'm intrigued to see what TK Tony Khan has set up for you, Rob. It's going to be a special day.
Indeed. Let's see what it does to my ongoing win-loss record.
Yes, that's it. My ongoing. Well, Rob, did you have an RVDology this week, or we covered a pretty good ground on that? I think a lot.
Yeah, I think we got it. I think we covered it for today, man. It's been a pretty long show, and I think we're all better after this show. We all leave this show a better person, and that's our.
I feel mildly improved, at least. So.
Me too.
I'm in good shape.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, guys, if you like what you're seeing, you can go to rvdtv.com. That's where you'll get a new episode every Monday at 4:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can also check out Rob's YouTube channel, too. Clips up there, episodes up there. Rob does his RVDology stuff up there, too. A lot of good stuff. Also, follow Rob at The Real RVD on all social media, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, X, whatever you want to call it. But, follow me on Twitter at Dominic D'Angelo. And cool. Rob, I'm excited to see what's down the road for you. You were a busy man this week, and hopefully you get a little bit of breather before stuff starts cooking up again here.
Well, this weekend I am going to be in town, and then next weekend is up in Springfield, Massachusetts, March 23rd. And I just got all my posters up, by the way. I've been refreshing robvandam.com. That's why for Joe Holland's artwork contest, I went for my web guy to give me a contact at robvandam.com for an email that they can send this into. But I want to be able to say, go to robvandam.com and you can see where all my appearances are. And I want to keep it updated so that I can use it for things like that, because I have a lot of posters that I put up there, and I do have one or two more that I gotta put up tonight. But a lot of that's just WrestleCon week because there's so much going on. But
how much was WrestleMania? Yeah.
But if you look on there on the appearances, you'll see. So it's March 23rd. And I don't know what's after that right now. I got to be looking at it. April's really busy too. I know that. Yeah. All right, dude.
Your eyes peeled, guys.
What's that?
All right. Good stuff, guys. We'll see you next week here on One of a Kind.
All right. Thanks, everybody.
No way, no how, no they can't stop us now.